Hi guys and welcome back to Modest Lucario Gaming, and we're here with another version of our top 5 meta decks of the format. So, I've had a look at the decks in the format. We're in a pretty fair format. Nothing really too bad happens. There is one particular one that I'll get into, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm kind of liking this format. I'm a Despia player at the moment. It's the deck that I'm kind of rolling with. I've got that. I've got Blackwing as well, but I'm kind of rolling with Despia as it's new, and I'm kind of enjoying the way it's playing right now. So, yep. Without any further ado, we're going to get straight into the list, and we're going to start off with the fifth best deck, I believe, of the format, and that is Sky Striker. So, this was between a few different decks. I went with Sky Striker because of the Brave Engine. The Brave Engine's a very, very strong engine in this format. Being able to tutor out the Griffin Wing just for a free negate for no reason. Sky Striker doesn't care about its normal summon monsters effect. It can run DPE, which is very strong, and it also has very good utilization cards. So stuff like Widow Anchor is very, very, very good this format. There's also I forget which one it was. I'll have it down here. Shark Cannon, I believe it is, that can banish a monster, which is very good for the DP. Can also take your opponent's DP. So, yeah, and another big reason is hand traps. It has space for hand traps, which you're kind of going to see a lot through this video, that is a reason why some decks are good right now. Because a lot of decks need to run a lot of hand traps, because there's a lot of decks out there now that are just, you hit them with 2 hand traps and they say, I don't care, I'm playing through your hand traps anyway. So, yep, I believe Sky Striker is the 5th best deck of the format. So, 4th best deck of the format is we're going to go with Based. Now, it's not just Based, it's any kind of pile deck I'm kind of putting into this. So, any 50 card My Shop bullshit deck, that's what we've got here. So, the reason I kind of have this still here, it's not doing as well as it kind of was foreshadowed to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more dominant than it is. The one thing that kind of keeps it going for it is the goddamn safe lock that it can just kind of do very easily. So, safe is kind of a problem. It's one of the only cards in this format right now that I see is a really big problem. Yes, there's stuff like DPE. DP is a problem in like a little bit of a smaller situation. It's just, it doesn't do anything unfair, whereas safe completely just shuts you down. You can't summon from the extra deck. It's just like, what do I do? Again, with a 50 card deck, another big reason, hand traps again. So this is kind of why. This deck in particular is strangely resilient. I've played it a few times thinking a well-timed negate or interruption would help. Yeah, I was wrong. Didn't really help too much. Still got safe locked. So it can run a lot of hand traps to counter any other type of deck that come up against it will try and safe lock them as well. So the only reason I've maybe have it a bit lower down is it can be a bit bricky. I've seen at times. Running the 50 cards makes it kind of harder to get into your cards that you want, such as your Raid of Aramasir, if that's what it's called, the Water Enchantress, your little Plant Rose engine thing that you run as well. So, yeah, that's kind of why I have it down as number 4 in the top decks of the format. So, for number 3, we've got Sword Soul. Now, Sword Soul, again, was another one of the ones between it and Based. I didn't really know which kind of order to put it in. I've kind of put Sword Soul a bit hard just because of the strength of the deck. It's very oppressive. Cards like Baron, just a very strong card. Omni Negate, it's very good, very strong, hard to kind of get rid of. And then a card that I've kind of seen lately that was actually pretty good is Sinister's Sovereign Longyan, I believe it's called. And it can negate a monster, or it can banish a monster on summon, inflict 1200, and then negate a spell or trap effect, and inflict 1200. So that as well is very good. Another thing I really like about the Sword Soul deck is its ability to combo off with basically nothing. It doesn't really need a lot of cards. Just being able to get into, say, your Moyi to get into your synchro plays, Longwan to get into synchro plays. The Tiny Engine's very good for this deck. It can run a decent amount of hand traps, I guess, but that's not really what its end goal is. It's a very oppressive deck. It wants to kind of shut you down and strangle you and just, get that win as quick as possible. It's kind of a beatdowny type of deck now, so very, very strong deck, very oppressive. Probably the second most oppressive deck in the format. You'll get to that soon, but that's my take on the 3rd best deck of the format. So, number 2, we're getting there now, and I've went with Prank Kits. So, this actually was kind of tough between 2 and 1. I was very close to putting Prank Kids, but I think the number one deck kind of edges out a tiny bit, especially because of the matchup against each other. That was kind of the deciding factor for me. So Prank Kids is probably the most resilient and consistent deck I've seen in a while for what it can do. It doesn't need a lot. It just needs Prank Kids, not any specific Prank Kid, just Prank Kids to build its board. Uh, it's very good resource game wise. It's good at taking hits and just being able to build their board back up again. Even with the hit to the bird, the doodle doodle do or whatever the hell it's called. It can still play very very well through it. Plays through negates very very well. It can also play the Brave Engine and DP, which is another big massive plus for decks this format. If you can run them without any sort of downside, then yeah, you put them in. They're good for a reason. And again, hand traps, hand traps, hand traps, hand traps. I cannot tell you any more how important hand traps are in this format. Being able just to have 3 hand traps in hand and then 2 prank kids in hand, just to kind of combo off, do your plays, have your hand traps, and say, come on, let's go then. So prank kids doesn't look like it's going to be disappearing very much. I believe the hits the prank kids need to be indirect. I think it needs to be stuff like the Brave Engine, the DP Engine, stuff like that, to kind of bring it down to a level where it kind of should be. It's kind of overhitting a bit in my opinion. But yep, prank kids, second best deck of the format, very close to first though. So finally here with our what I believe is the best deck of the format for now. And I believe that, spoiler, very easy to guess, is Despia. So Despia is so powerful. It can just wipe the floor with you without even breaking a sweat. It just needs 1 card, 2 card, it's fine. Having cards such as the branded opening is just, it's insane how good that card is. Being able to discard for that is a big deal as well. If you have it in Tragedy, being able to discard a card like Tragedy to summon an Albaz from deck, get the search of Albaz, and you're not even using your normal summon, so you can run cards like the Brave Engine as well. So you can run Brave. You don't actually need the Albaz effect, and then Branded Fusion coming out as just, the deck was kind of, you could see the potential. It was just needed something just to push it up a bit, and Branded Fusion didn't just push it up, it absolutely caved the ceiling. The ceiling of this deck is so high now. Cards like Mirajade is just such an oppressive card, being able to banish and then get resources of the card you send from the extra deck to the grave to activate the effect. And then one of my favorite plays I love in this deck is being able to use the Branded Red to summon the Guardian Chimera, using the ad libitum to bring back the Mirajade after you've used its effect, because it's a soft once per turn, remember. So being able to use a card like Mirajade to banish, get the resource at the end of the turn because of the activated effect, bringing it back again, getting the 2 cards off Chimera and the pop, or the other way around, the 2 pops and the draw, very strong. And I believe that it's going to keep getting better. It's going to keep going. There may be a hit or two that will come. Maybe Branded Opening is a very strong card. But I believe for now that Despia will be the strongest deck of the format. So watch that space. So that's my top 5 decks of the format. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think the top 5 decks of the format are? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? Do you maybe want to just change the order a bit? Let me know. Very interested to hear what your guys' opinions are. If you like the video, like always, please like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, look at some of the content, some of the deck profiles, some of the Master Duel videos if you're interested. I'm going to keep pumping content out to you guys, and I'll see everybody for the next video. Goodbye.